Hi, I'm Jasmine and welcome back to my channel. If you're here for the first time, I like to do makeup tutorials using affordable products. And today we are doing this golden toned yellow eyeshadow look using eyeshadows from ColourPop as well as a beauty supply store eyeshadow palette from RK by Kiss, I believe. So yeah. If you like to see how I achieve this look and all the mistakes I made to get here, then please stay tuned. Okay, so look, I thought I was destined for success when I purchased this cream liner with the palette because a good base is the perfect tool to make colors pop, right? Well, let's just see. This liner was amazing, but it dries fast. To make matters worse, I applied it on top of an eyeshadow primer, so it just dried and cracked up on my eyelids. As you'll see, it was not cute. So of course I'm filming a tutorial, so I didn't want to quit. I thought it was important to show my mistakes. That way, you wouldn't waste time making the same mistake getting ready for something important. I tried to go in with eyeshadows and clean it up, but it just was not working. In the future, I would try using a concealer as a base for the crease eyeshadows because it's creamier than a primer. And then use the liner on my bare eyelid. No product. But yeah, this just was not gonna work. I knew that if I took pictures and everything when this was over with, it was gonna look a mess. So I just went in with like a oil on my fingertips and rubbed it into the liner to get it to dissolve a little bit, and then just wiped off the residue with a makeup wipe. It looks like I'm being harsh, but I'm not. The skin around your eyelids are sensitive, so be careful. Now, as I mentioned, I'm taking the concealer I use to clean up under my brows and blending it down so that it could be a base for my crease eyeshadows. Now I'm going to go in with the RK by Kiss Topaz Nudes palette and sweep the orange shadow over my upper crease. This palette was only about $5 and each of the shadows are pigmented. Don't sleep on the beauty supply store. Speaking of which, RK by Kiss is lit. This is their Sweet Cheeks blush palette and I'm using the deep burgundy blush as my crease color, applying it just below the orange eyeshadow. Next, going back in with the Topaz Nudes palette, I'm deepening the crease by applying this brown color slightly lower than the blush. This creates layers and dimension for your cut crease. Now you just see me blending and reapplying eyeshadows as needed so that all the colors pop, although we're blending them together. I lost faith in the yellow eyeliner, so going back to the basics, I picked up the brightest concealer I had on hand and used it to create my cut crease. This is just the LA Girl Pro Conceal in the color Nude. Cut creases are no joke. I never do them when I'm in a rush because you want to get both eyes to look as similar as possible. But once you get it right, the outcome is so worth it. Besides, this is the hard part. After this, everything's easy. Use a flat synthetic brush with a rounded edge to cut your crease. Once you find this brush, never lose it. Thank me later. The object of a cut crease is to make your eyelid space look larger so that every eyeshadow you apply can be seen, whether you're blinking or staring straight ahead. If I didn't cut my crease and just put the eyeshadow on my eyelids, you'd barely be able to see the color. As you see, I just keep checking to see if the shape and size of both cut creases look pretty similar. Just take your time and work in very little spaces and just keep making sure that it looks right to you. Lastly, make sure you blend out that concealer or whatever base you use, making sure it's like no clumps. Now we're finally going in with the ColourPop Honey palette and putting the color Oh Beehave in the middle of my lids. The color wasn't really picking up, so I swapped out the flat brush for a more dense eyeshadow brush so that I could pack on more color. It's yellow, so it's going to take a lot of shadow for the color to pick up, especially because my base wasn't stark white or yellow. Now I'm using the color Sweet Spot in that ColourPop palette in the inner corner of my eye. When the yellows in that palette didn't give me the look I needed, I tried the dark yellow in the Topaz Nudes palette, and she was on point. Forgive me, I've been rewatching Bratz and Family Values, so hopefully I don't start talking like Tamar. Anywho, rule of thumb for eyeshadows, apply the brightest colors near the inner part of your eye and use darker colors near the outer corner. In this case, the colors will gradually get darker from the inner part to the outer part of your eye. After I was pretty satisfied with the color payoff, I picked up that flat brush again to get as close to the cut crease as possible without messing anything up. You want the entire base to be filled in, or else you might see a noticeable space. I'm applying Sweet Spot back on top of the yellow near the inner corner of my eye to make sure we have that dimension I was looking for. Next, to blend the yellow part of my eye with the outer corner, I use both the reddish brown and brown shadows from the Topaz Nude palette to blend the edges of that yellow out. Remember how I mentioned the gradual change from light to dark on your lid. I then went in with a clean brush to blend out those shadows so that there was no harsh lines. After that debacle in the beginning, my eyeshadow look was finally coming together. I then used the Wet n Wild waterproof eyeliner to create a thin yet dramatic wing. Next, I'm just sweeping away any fallout with a makeup wipe. And now I'm using the infamous Milk of Magnesia to prime my face. It creates a matte base for foundation, especially if you have oily skin like me, but it ain't for everybody. For foundation, I'm using the Kiss New York Pro Touch Liquid Foundation in Cognac, also purchased at the beauty supply store. It blends out pretty well and has a semi-matte finish. To highlight, I'm using the LA Girl Pro Conceal in Espresso. But first, I'm cleaning up under that eyeliner with a very small brush. That way I know there are no gaps in my makeup when I'm done blending. I'm also using a brighter concealer to further highlight. If I remember the name, I'll put it down below. I chose to blend the concealers out with my finger first before going in with my brush. I don't have nails, so do what works for you. As you blend out the concealer, make sure you get the edges. You want your makeup to look seamless. You don't want anyone to be able to look and see where you put concealer, where you contoured. And next, I'm just setting the concealer with my Spun Loose face powder and suntan. My boyfriend was getting me to try some eggs he just made, but he almost burnt me in the process. I contour my face with the Contour Duo by Nicka K, which is also a beauty supply store brand. Contouring with a powder is a safe option. It does the job without all the work as contouring with the liquid or cream does. Now I'm just blending out that Airspun powder with the same brush I used to apply my face powder, which is the Covergirl bronzer and Ebony Bronze. When I apply my face powder, I put it all over my face, even the places that I had that white powder. That way you ensure that you don't have any unnecessary like flashback and that all your makeup is blended. Now I'm just putting a black eyeliner from the beauty supply store in my waterline. Not sure the brand, but here's the thing. I used to use the L'Oreal Infallible eyeliner, which was between $8 or $9. This liner was only about $3 and does the same thing. If I think of the name, I'll link it below. Going back in with that dark blush, I'm just sweeping it under my eye so that the bottom of the eye matches the top. I'm also doing the same with the brown powder from that Contour Duo kit. The blush I'm using is from the Elf Blush Quad in dark. Now to highlight, I'm using the Maybelline Master Chrome Highlighter in Molten Gold. Next, I'm just using a mascara from the beauty supply store on my bottom lashes and to blend my top lashes with the magnetic falsies. Lastly, for the lippy, this is a burgundy liquid lipstick from NY Professional. You guessed it, a beauty supply store brand. And I went over it with the Wet n Wild liquid catsuit and Goth topic. And that is the complete look. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for hanging out with me and chilling with me as I played in some eyeshadows and achieved this look. If you want to see other videos like this, where I actually delve into some eyeshadows and really get into it, then please leave a comment below and also like and subscribe to my channel. And hopefully I'll see you next time. Bye.